Hey all, welcome to this week's top 10 list here at the CIOPCC. I thought I'd take advantage of this fantastically beautiful spring day and remind folks that when I talk about the Institute, it's actually its own building. Some people will say in the comments, oh, I love your room. I just want to make sure you understand, I built this building to house my collection. There I am in the window. And we'll go on in and see what we've got for our top 10 today. So, our top 10 today is going to be top 10 Sideshow Star Wars 6th scale action figures. Now, you'll remember a few weeks ago I did the Hot Toys 6th scale Star Wars action figures, my top 10. And at the time I mentioned that I would be doing a Sideshow version. Sideshow figures often don't get the credit they really deserve, especially the aliens they did. So, we're going to start out with Cad Bane. Yes, Sideshow did about, somewhere between 1 million and 1.5 million versions of clone troopers, stormtroopers, any kind of trooper. I probably have about 70 of them up there on that double set of top shelf. It's about 14 feet long. But Cad Bane really stands out for me. Sure, we're going to get a new version here when we get a Hot Toys version, but this was a great figure when it was released, and I still really like it. So, let's talk about another great figure, or figures, the Cantina band set. You could do one, you could do all of them. They all came with different, you could outfit them with their different musical instruments. They look fantastic in Sideshow's Cantina band Nook. It's just a great playset. It's a great looking figure. And the fact that you could outfit it with all the different instruments really easily puts it in number 9 in my top 10. Speaking of the sets, now I'm not going to put any of the actual dioramas on my list, but another figure that's number 8 is Jabba the Hutt. And he is also greatly increased by the fact that we got the throne and a bunch of the actual extra figures to go with it, as well as the Nook to the side. Another great representation. He could have used a slightly better paint job, sure, but considering the time of frame that he came out in, I'd say it's awfully well done. Speaking of time frames, this next one is a droid, and he came out, more than 10 years ago, and yet they still did a fantastic job on him. It's IG-88. Now, of course, Hot Toys has since done IG-11, so I put IG-88 up there on the top shelf because I figured, what the heck, I didn't need two that looked almost identical next to each other. But the fact that they're almost identical, here's IG-11 down over here, speaks volumes about what a great job Sideshow did when they released theirs. Another pair that I really like, you'll notice that most of these figures have been aliens or robots. Both the Hoth Luke and the Hoth Han are fantastic figures. As a matter of fact, they're so good that I have absolutely no reason to swap them out if and when Hot Toys ever does their versions. I'm that happy with these. So there's Hoth Luke. He's going to get the number 6 spot. Han's going to get the number 5 spot. You can see he also got the privilege of riding on the Tauntaun. And he got both the blue coat versions and the brown coat versions produced. Sideshow was smart enough to know they wanted to keep the nerds from arguing over it. Number 4 on the list, you might have caught him when I was talking about the Cantina set. It's Greedo. He's sitting over here with Han, and they're contemplating who's going to shoot first while they share a drink in the cantina. Sideshow really did a great job with all their aliens. And number 3 on the list is Hammerhead. He's also sitting up here, one of the little Nook sets, having himself a drink, kicking back, sitting really well. Good articulation for a figure designed around an alien body like that. Number 2 spot is the Gamorrean Guard, and we got 2 versions of him. The head sculpts are slightly different. Here's one. This was the first initial version, and this was the exclusive they did later on, standing out in a Nook over here in the corner. Both of them are terrific looking figures, and again, when it came to the aliens, Sideshow really stepped it up. Now, number 1 on the list is my favorite of their aliens. He is the second figure on here who is a bounty hunter, and that would be Bosk. Marvelous version of Bosk. Again, I don't expect to see Hot Toys ever try to replicate this or do a better job. He's just a fantastic looking figure. He came with the two heads, the open mouth, which is obviously my preferred look. And he's easily my #1 favorite Sideshow Star Wars 6th scale action figure. Of course, that order might change from day to day. You never know. That's how these things work. Tell me what your top 10 Sideshow 6th scale figures are in the Star Wars line. And until next week,